How is a myth created? Does it contain any truth or does it belong only to the realm of fantasy? In this Resonant Theories video we will walk through an ancient Greek myth. The myth of Perseus. In ancient Greek mythology, Perseus is the legendary founder of Mycenae and of the Perseid dynasty. He was, alongside Cadmus and Bellerophon, the greatest Greek hero and slayer of monsters before the days of Heracles. A large list of heroes exists in Wikipedia's article, List of Greek Mythological Figures. Some of the names you will read are not considered heroes because they were only slayers of monsters. They are physicians, engineers, farmers such as Buzages. One thing is sure, to create a farm, first you need to clear off the dangerous animals. So the list of ancient heroes has to do with labors and deeds regarding danger of humans from animals, or monsters. If no monsters exist in an area suitable for agriculture, then it becomes easier to have heroes of agriculture. This explains that agriculture was either synchronous or only a small fraction of time, after the clearance of the field from monsters. All these are great. A nice story. But how come the Perseus tale might have not been exactly a myth? Perseus' tale involves a trip to certain locations, using always the mythical flying horse Pegasus or his winged sandals. Of course, the moment any person hears the phrase, flying horse, moves automatically any information that follows that phrase to the sphere of fantasy. But this is not going to happen in this video. In this video it will be explained how Perseus, Andromeda and Pegasus tales could have been a bit more history than myth. In the myth, Perseus was the son of Zeus and Danae, the daughter of Acrisius, king of Argos. Argos is a city in Argolis, the Peloponnese, Greece, and is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, and the oldest in Europe. Perseus visits the kingdom of Ethiopia after several adventures and quests. But he always seems to have some kind of artifact, as in Hermes' sandals, or a vehicle, as in Pegasus, to fly. In the Wikipedia article on Perseus, under Marriage to Andromeda, it is written: as Perseus was flying in his return above the sands of Libya, according to Apollonius of Rhodes, the falling drops of Medusa's blood created a race of toxic serpents, one of whom was to kill the Argonaut Mopsus. At this point we need to see a map. Too many locations are mentioned. For this video we will consider the Kingdom of Ethiopia, the region of Ethiopia and Sudan. River Nile passes both countries and reaches Egypt. Next we will consider ancient Libya as the location where Libya exists nowadays without significant change. So let's start by visiting Argos. And let's see, if someone wanted to make a very quick trip to the Kingdom of Ethiopia, what route would be the quickest and the safest up to a point. Let's not forget that this tale is in the sphere of myth, since it may hold information of a superhuman deed. So one would simply need to follow the shores of Peloponnese, to the south of Argos. Continue south/southwest to Kythera Island and Skeriana. Pass the Steno-Antikytheron and move to western Crete, pass from the shorelines of Grambusa. Continue south as the shoreline of Crete indicates and then turn east again as the shoreline indicates. Close to Sogia a new turn south starts. A long trip of more than 300 kilometers. Then the coasts of Libya appear. The route changes east, to the Nile Delta. Once reached the Nile Delta, our journey follows the river, to the south, as the river goes. The river is the highway that made it possible for someone with a proper boat to reach the mythical kingdom of Ethiopia of that era. Perhaps this explains the reference of Apollonius of Rhodes of Perseus passing from Libya on the way back. A ship with sails, not necessarily a large one, could make that trip. Remember also that the Nile was accessible further than Aswan, where a dam exists now. What comes to mind is a special type of windsurf or catamaran. If most boats meant rowing at that era, then anything that could move fast with the least wind, would appear to be flying compared to regular boats. Here comes the fun part. Argos, Egypt, Sudan have locations with pyramids. As if this was a trend they used for burials. Perhaps pyramids to also exist in Libya hidden somewhere under the sand. A quick view of ancient Greek family trees provides names that were supposed to be founders of kingdoms or legendary kings. Of course this is mythology, although despite the myth, it sounds like the tales of brothers or relatives in quests on new lands. The tales of ancient Greek mythical heroes are stories of people that were not static, but traveled vast distances. We still know nowadays Gibraltar as Pillars of Hercules. Such travels were not easy to make with ancient navigation systems. So most routes to reach a certain location, typically had to be easy and simple. Like the route Perseus took to visit the kingdom of Ethiopia as explained earlier. So why in this video Pegasus is considered a ship and not a flying horse? Quote from Wikipedia article on Pegasus, in classical Greek mythology, the Olympian god Poseidon is identified as the father of Pegasus. Pegasus is the brother of Chrysaor and the uncle of Geryon. Pegasus was caught by the Greek hero Bellerophon near the fountain Perseus with the help of Athena and Poseidon. How convenient, a flying horse, that was offspring of a sea god of the past, that in order to be captured both the sea god Poseidon and the goddess of wisdom Athena, were needed. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe.